I think I have a bigger heart than all of them. I think I'm much more competent than all of them. When you talk about George Bush, I mean, say what you want, the World Trade Center came down during his time. If you look at Sandy Hook,
you can't blame George Bush for that.
He was president, okay? Don't blame him or don't blame him, but he was president.
There is no one, not one politician who can jab a verbal stick into somebody's eye and turn up with more publicity than even his fortune could buy than Donald Trump, who did it again recently with what a majority of people agree might be his most outrageous comment yet, which means his poll number is about to rise again and will once again have to explain why a poll leader at this stage means almost nothing in the long haul. Come on, we've been there before. It's where we begin this edition of The Political Animal. Unlocking the Cage released the former general counsel to John Boehner, Marc Lampkin, joined by the former deputy assistant to Vice President Dick Cheney, Ron Christie. All right, gentlemen, Mark, I'm going to come to you first. Look, is this not just brilliant by Donald Trump? He keeps sticking people, and they keep wasting time going after him. It's a brilliant strategy, and it's working.
You're certainly right. You know, I've been doing this business for a long time, 20 plus years around politics, and I've never seen any phenomenon like it. That, he breaks all the conventions, he breaks all the conventional wisdom. He says what he wants, he says what he feels, and he, regardless of who he offends, just think about it. He offends women, he offends Hispanics. Now he's, attacking a former Republican president for causing one of the greatest attacks on American soil. And as you said, his polls keep on rising. I don't know if he can continue to rise to the stratosphere with this, because at some point the air is going to get too thin and the response is going to get too hot. But at least right now he's not learning any lessons not to proceed that way.
All right, Ron, to you. Always good to see you again. So let's get the other side of this right here. Is it fair to say that Jeb Bush loses the minute that he comes back at him? Or would you then suggest that, no, you got to go after him on something like this?
No, you have to go after him on something like this. I think what my good friend Marc Lampkin said is exactly right. The fact that Trump is out there trying to exploit one of the worst terrorist attacks on American soil in American history is repugnant. This man, Jeb Bush, the former governor from Florida, you're talking about his brother, the president of the United States, who 7 months into his term had this terrible, terrible thing take place on his watch. You could also flip the page on this, Ed, and say George W. Bush and Barack Obama have continued to keep this country safe since 9/11. If I were Jeb, I'd be swinging for the fences and saying, this guy's a Republican. He needs to get out.
All right, let's move on to the next thing here.
Well, Ed,
no, wait a minute. Go ahead, Mark. You're in there. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, there's no divide between Ron and I on one thing, that if I was sitting on the dais next week at the next debate, I would go after Trump. I think everyone, all the candidates, need to take the gloves off, because the one thing I know from long history, that everyone says they don't like negative campaigning, they don't like attack ads, they don't like to take the fight to their opponent. But in every instance, it's successful. And, Trump, if you want to be the nominee and you don't want Trump to have it, you need to go after him. You need to pull him down. You need to expose him for what he really is, which is in many respects a combination, of Elmer Gantry and P.T. Barnum.
I don't think I could have ever put it. I swear to you, after everybody has said things here, Mark, I think you just nailed Donald Trump absolutely perfectly. We're going to put that one on T-shirts that work so well. All right, let me come to you on this one now, Ron. Joe Biden, there's a number of reports out there right now that say that Joe Biden will announce in the next 48 hours what he will do. There's even one report out there completely unsubstantiated at the moment that says he has already decided that he will join the fight. Is it a good idea?
Why not? I mean, this guy's run for president twice before. He has a lot of the sympathy factor going for him. Whether it's true or not that his son, Beau Biden, asked his dad to run on his dying deathbed, we don't know whether that's true or not, but it makes for a great story. And besides, Joe Biden, I think, would add diversity to the race. No, we still have 3 or 4 elderly white folks up there. But Vice President Biden perhaps is the only authentic person who's contemplating running in this race. And I think it would shake up the dynamic. And Hillary Clinton might have a run for her money if he gets in it.
All right, Mark, is he authentic enough, though, again, to dovetail on what Ron just said, to really make a difference and to really put Hillary Clinton in her place? Because let's face it, Bernie Sanders has still got to be in this equation somewhere, too.
Yeah, listen, I agree with Ron. I think he should run. I think he'll add an interest factor. And if you think about it, I don't really I watched the Democratic debate last week, and I have no idea what Jim Webb is talking about.
No, wait a minute. Hang on a sec there, Mark. We have to stop you right there. When it comes to Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee, and people are still trying to figure out who they are. You know?
Exactly. So I was going to say, Lincoln Chafee used to be a blacksmith, and I think he maybe got kicked in the head by a horse because he is indecipherable. So I think you bring someone that's been, albeit a career politician for 40 years. Joe Biden knows how to, tell a story. He knows what he believes in. I think in many respects, the gaffes that people say may be a liability in this current context of the political arena may be a benefit, because I think he's going to come across as a genuine person who's got a heartfelt belief in wanting to serve and lead the country. So I say bring him on. It certainly will add to the interest factor on the Democrat side, probably considerably more than Chafee and Webb do as it is right now.
Don't know why, but I would like to see Donald Trump versus Joe Biden in a debate. Oh, now I'm paying tickets for that one. Ron, Christie, Marc Lampkin, gentlemen, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it real soon. All right, coming up on deck, the case of a phony Southern accent and the case of that rumpled white guy from the North running for president. Oh, yeah, by the way, and we're not talking about Bernie Sanders. It's when we continue right here on The Hard Line. And now this promotional announcement. By now, you've likely heard about the shocking new book, Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary, written by Ed Klein. Unlikable already shot at the top of the bestseller lists and could be the most powerful expose on Hillary Clinton ever written. Good reason. You know, Ed Klein wrote the #1 New York Times bestsellers, The Amateur and Blood Feud. In Unlikable, Klein offers up a stunning and gripping narrative of Hillary Clinton and her now floundering race for the White House. With unprecedented access, Klein meticulously recreates conversations and details of Mrs. Clinton's plotting behind the scenes and digs into the bitter rivalry between Hillary and Barack Obama. Unlikable is on the shelves retailing for $29.95, but right now it is yours absolutely free. Just go online or call the toll-free number on your screen to score your copy. Make sure you get the truth about the Hillary Clinton machine and be ready for the 2016 election. Act now on this special offer. Read why, even to her friends, Hillary Clinton is indeed unlikable.